give me your family history again?
Yes, my mother's family are Shelbys. My grandfather, who was Charles Ira Shelby, was born in 1861. His third cousin removed was General Joseph Orville Shelby, originally from Lexington, Kentucky, from a long line of patriots. His great-great-grandfather was Isaac Shelby, who was the first governor of Kentucky, and the third, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't want to be a second time, and they finally talked him into it to do it again.
Yeah.
But was a Revolutionary War hero himself.
Yeah.
And fought somewhere in North Carolina
Yeah.
on some mountain.
Now, Mr. Shelby, I was reading about him in my father's book.
Yes.
He was quite a celebrity during the war.
He was.
And when he came to Batesville to recover from his wounds, there was quite a demand as far as whose house he was going to
That
stay
is
in.
exactly correct, from what I understand. Yes,
Yeah.
he was. If you could get Shelby to come to your dinner at your house, that was quite an honor to have the general there with you.
Wow.
He was quite a celebrity. He was well known in Missouri. Not as well known as you might think. We don't hear about him as much today as they did back then. Was a wealthy hemp farmer, as I said. Owned some steamboats. And was a cousin to Franklin Blair, who turned out to be one of Lincoln's appointees. And Blair went to Shelby at the first of the war and tried to give him a commission to be in the Union Army.
Yeah.
Shelby turned him down.
Wow.
And proceeded to Jefferson City to buy ammunition for the South. Shelby did, and saw the uprising that went on there by Union troops, and pretty much solidified his decision to go with the South. He's quite a guy.
Yeah.
Quite a guy. Men in Kansas City after the war, and of course they wrote in a quite unusual style in that time period. Really knew how to embellish things, and wrote two fascinating books about Joe Shelby's escapades, not only during the war, but his escapades when he said, to hell with the Yankees, I'm going to Mexico. We're going to go fight for Maximilian. So it's quite an adventure.
Now, my understanding is he didn't initially say he was going to fight for Maximilian. He was just going down to get away from the Yankees.
He was going down there to get away from the Yankees because he was not going to be ruled by the Yankee government, and he was really going to go down there to barter, see who would pay him the most to fight for them. Is actually what it turned out to be. He set up a colony, tried to go into business down there, lasted about 2 years, and finally went back to Missouri and got back into farming business. He was a hemp farmer.
Really?
Hemp farmer. Was from Waverly, Missouri, just up by Kansas City. A little town still exists, about 3,000 or 4,000 people, and they had a dedication to him there a year ago. My daughter and I went to. One of the few equestrian statues, Civil War related statues, to be put up since the war.
Yeah.
And it was dedicated in July. You think it's hot here. Missouri, it was hot last July in Missouri, Waverly, Missouri. His quite modest. I visited his grave in Kansas City. He's buried in Kansas City at Oak Forest Cemetery up there. And it's a cartridge box. Is his mark. Cartridge box, about 8 inches by 6 inch.
Yeah.
It's a J.O. Shelby, and that's it. That's the only mark he's got. His only request when he died was to be buried with the troops that rode with him.
Yeah.
And they said at the time it was the biggest funeral gathering Kansas City had ever seen. Thousands turned out. Union soldiers turned out.
Wow.
Union General Pemberton said he was the toughest Reb he ever fought, which was quite a compliment.
Very well done on his part.
Yes, yes. He was quite a guy, quite a character.